Hello, Lee. I want to give you a program today. I want it to be something that's simple and doable. I miss seeing you at studio, of course. But this is without any equipment, although I'm going to give you maybe a suggestion on one exercise that might make a difference for you. So the first thing I want to recommend that you do is either get some kind of a warm-up, something to loosen the body up just a little bit. And that could be something very simple. So some suggestions would be walking in place, and I would do this probably for about a minute. You know, kind of watch the knees, let them maybe start off low and then go a little higher if the body allows that. Just to kind of get the heart rate going a little bit. I would do a little side to side with some lazy arms. This always feels good, kind of helps get the core warmed up. I would do what's called the barn door, which is little hands into the corners of the creases of the temples and just kind of opening and shutting the door. It kind of gets the chest and shoulders warmed up. So it's kind of used as a little hinge. And now what you might find is you can't go all the way into the center, that's okay. Just go where you can, but if you can, you go to the elbows together and then you open up as wide as your body will let you go. Okay? So the first exercise I'm going to recommend is, without any extra weight, is some form of body weight push-up. So the push-up would be just traditional. I would recommend you do a wall push-up. What it is you go from wall to something a little bit more in the middle category, a little lower, which could be something on the lines of a bench, maybe a table that's stable. For example, I have the machine here that can simulate the wall push-up. So you walk into your wall, your hands are going to be shoulder width apart, and then what you're going to do is you're going to let the whole body come down, and then you're going to press back up. Also, I'll send you the video of a reminder of the wall push-up that we did, that I sent maybe a couple weeks ago to you. But the idea is that the body stays straight as you come forward, and you let the body come all the way in. But that's only based on what your shoulders will allow you. If you have any pain in the shoulders or you have limitation in the shoulders, you might find that the movement's very slow and the range of motion is very limited. That's okay. Just kind of go where you can. But the key is you come in and resist on the way forward, and then you press back through those hands as you come back down. I'm going to recommend you go where you feel comfortable going, but not going necessarily to muscle failure. I would do anywhere from about 5 repetitions up to about 15 for a set. Because what I'm going to recommend is that we do more than one set. Okay? I'm only going to give you 3 basic movements for the body, and then I'm going to follow that up with some core exercises that you can do at the very end of the workout. So the first movement was the wall push-up, or some variation. Maybe this is your counter, your kitchen counter, which may be a little lower, but that could be another tool that you can use as the counter to kind of give you some stability while you're doing the push-up. So the first thing is the push-up. The second thing is we're going to do something for the legs. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a break from the upper body. When you did the push-up, you got really all the upper body, primarily the chest, the shoulders, and the back of the arms. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a movement for the legs. And I still like doing the get up, which there was a video sent, I believe, to you on the get up, which is bringing the legs behind you, or the feet behind you just a little bit, leaning forward, and then pressing up, and then reaching back and having a seat. So I'm using a bench here. You could be using some form of a seat at the house. And what I recommend is maybe experimenting with something that's very stable, that you feel isn't going to slide out from under you. You want to make sure it's a stable chair, a heavy chair. And then experiment with the different heights of the chair, okay? So obviously the lower we go, the more challenging it's going to be. And this one is you're going to be leaning forward and coming back up. And then really controlling on the way down. And then right back up. And then really push through those feet as you come up. And you want to kind of engage the glutes. But you're working the front of the legs, back of the legs, and the butt. This is really a modified version of the squat movement. So the squat can also be used. Squat, the hands could be in front as you come down. Got my hands together, reaching back, trying to create a nice right angle, and then pressing through. And this is probably more phase 2. And this could be interchanged between the get up and maybe one day when you're training, you decide to do the squat. So the squat version, frontwards, feet are about shoulder width apart. You're gonna sit back, controlled, and then press through. The temptation sometimes is to want to kind of just come straight down and bend. When you do that, you start to jump the knees over the toes, and that's very dangerous on the knees. So what you want to do is sit back, almost like you're reaching for a seat. You're sitting back, going down as far as you feel comfortable. You're trying to run. If you can, you try to create that right angle or just slightly above that, and then you press back through. And then the more controlled you are, the harder it's going to be. Okay? Okay, so either the squat or the get up, and I'd probably initially do the get up. All right? So far, wall push-up or countertop push-up, followed by the squat. The rest periods in between those, I would go 30 seconds to a minute. If you require more time, that's okay. Make sure you feel like you're ready for the next exercise. All right? So now, the third exercise doesn't require any quote-unquote equipment, but it does require some kind of a prop. I'm going to recommend that you use something in the house, maybe a can, maybe a jug that's got a handle on it. That might even be ideal, like a water jug, but something you can hold onto that has some weight. And what I would do is, I'm going to do what's called a row, and we're going to simulate the kind of rowing machine that we have in the studio, where you're reaching out and rowing into you. All we're going to do is we're going to mimic that movement with some form of weight in our hand, and we're going to, and if you need to, you might want to pause right now, and then go to the kitchen or find a prop that might work for you, and then we'll start back up. So the movement is going to be, you're bending, you let the butt go back a little bit. In this case, I got the weight in my left arm, in my hand, and I'm going to put my right hand on my right leg, and I'm going to have this down and reaching. Now I could use a seat or chair where I'm putting my hand on the chair. And if you have that, that might be better because it'll give you support, and it makes you, I think it works you a little less and gives you a little more stability. So, but either way, some support on a chair, or even just bending over and having the arm hanging with the right hand on your leg for support. And then what you're going to do is you're going to keep the back straight and the head straight, and then you're going to row up, control, and smooth back down. We're going to do the very same principles that we're doing here in the studio, which is very controlled and smooth movement. Okay. Repetition-wise, anywhere from 5 to 20. And then what we'll do is we'll simply change over, back straight, shoulders square, head neutral, rowing in, and then controlling down. you find a chair, you're doing the same thing. Rolling up and then controlling back down. All right? So that's the row with a prop, something you use at home. Again, that's a sequence. Now you got 3 exercises that are primary, and these are all compound movements, which I like to include in a workout. Is anybody's workout, no matter what skill level they are. So in the beginning, we did the wall push-up or the countertop push-up. We give ourselves 30 seconds to a minute rest. We follow that up with a squat or the get up on a chair. And leaning up and controlling back down. Or we're just reaching back with the arms out in front of us and reaching with the glutes and then pressing back through to the top. All right? So once you have that exercise, and then we finish that with the third exercise, which is that row, which is again back straight, head neutral. Okay? Or using all right. I would repeat that for a second cycle, 5 to 20 repetitions with each exercise, and then about 30 seconds to a minute rest in between. And what I'll do is I'll write this out for you so you'll have something to look at and to see how the program outline is. Does it mean you have to follow it perfectly? No. I want you to follow it, experiment with it, see what feels right to you. You can make it harder, you can make it easier. I'm totally okay with that. And also, please give me any feedback, give me an idea on what might work for you that needs to be changed, or if you want some other exercises added into the program. Now, having said that, those are the main group to train your body. You did a little warm up in the beginning, and you did these 3 exercises, and then you'll do a second round of those exercises to finish up kind of the group. And then what we'll do is we're going to do some core activity to train you at the very end of the workout. And the first one, and this, I want you to, I hope you have a mat or something that's comfortable, maybe a carpet on the floor, rug, something that doesn't give your knees any difficulty. What we're going to do is we're going to do the plank. And I wasn't sure, I included this in here, I wasn't sure if you were ready for it, if you can do it or not do it, you can let me know. But a plank is going to be, if you haven't done it before, is you're going to bring your body down to the floor, elbows underneath your shoulders, hands out in front. You're going to go under your toes and you're going to prop up. And then what you're going to do is keep your head neutral. And then hold the position. Keep your belly pressed in toward your spine. And I want you just to hold that position. And how long you hold it is totally up to you. I'm going to recommend you go anywhere from 10 seconds to a minute. And then when you're done, you're going to slowly bring the knees and then walk that back up. Okay? So you start out. You're on your knees, you walk forward, your elbows are on the mat, your elbows are underneath your shoulders, you have your toes tucked under, and then you're going to lift up, and you're going to keep that belly, I'm not going to relax, I'm going to keep that back straight, keep everything tight, head neutral, and hold. When you're done, you slowly back up. Okay? So that was the plank. The second movement I'm going to do is the bridge. And the bridge is you're going to flip around, lie down with your feet flat on the floor. And then what you're going to do, this is going to work your core again, and it's going to get the glutes and hamstrings involved a little bit with the lower back, which I like. And you're going to come here and slowly press up and into straight position.
hold it for about a good second, and then control back down. And as soon as it touches, I want you to press back through the feet, lift the glutes up toward the ceiling, and hold. Okay. And repetitions on this one. The plank was timed. This one's going to be repetition count. And I'm going to recommend 10 to 20 repetitions. And then slow back down. All right. Okay. And when you get done, I always think it's good to turn to your side and then kind of walk your way back up. I'm going to show you one more core exercise. It's called the bird dog. You may have done this, may not. Now you're going to be on all fours. Turn that just a little bit. Hands, again, are going to be underneath the shoulders. We're going to do the opposite movements. We're going to go right hand and left leg first. And reach that out. Notice my hand position is like I'm shaking hands with somebody. Reaching up, head neutral, not down, not excessively up. So let me just do that again. Smooth up. So both the right arm, left leg go up simultaneously. Control those back to the start position. And then what you do is you just alternate. It may take a little coordination initially to get this right, but essentially you're doing opposites. So again, right arm, left leg. And this is a good one, again, a third exercise for the core. And since you're doing both sides, we want to do 10 to 20 on both sides, okay? So, that's the program. The outline again, a little bit of warm-up. Before we start, I showed you a few exercises. You can do whatever you like to do that's as a warm-up. And then we went into what I would call the basic program of compound movements. We did the wall push-up, we did the squat or get up. You had your choice between the squat and get up. And then you did the row with a prop at home. And your choice of props, it can't sound like a can of soup, it could be something with a handle, water jug, etc. And then we went into, those are the big three. And then we went into some core exercises, okay? We did the plank, where we tried to do a hold as long as we could, but up to a minute time. Okay. And then we did the bird dog, which was the third exercise, where I'm opposites, doing right arm and left leg. Okay. The second exercise was the bridge, where we brought the glutes up to the ceiling with our feet planted. So we got 3 core exercises. I think that's a good start. What we can do, we can slowly morph that. We can take some exercises and eliminate them, and we can add some things in. So Lee, give me some feedback. Let me know if this works for you, and call or text and we'll confer. But try to practice this for the week, and then let me know what you're thinking. I miss you again, and I hope we get a chance to train soon. And until then, we'll talk soon.